first grade. Today we're going to practice counting and writing numbers all the way to 1,000. Now, we could just do it out loud, but I want you to really understand what it means and how to get to 1,000 if you want to skip count. Now, this week you're going to begin your My 1 to 1,000 book. You're going to write 1,000 numbers to get to the end. That's if you're counting by one, and you will as you write each number. But there's a different way to get to 1,000. We can do that skip counting. We can skip count by tens, and we can even skip count by 100s. But let's understand how to do it. Now, along with your your 1,000 book, I gave you a guide. The numbers 1 to 100 are easy. You already know those. It gets a little harder when you move into the 100s and you start writing those using 3 digits. Now, let's say you get stuck and you don't know how to write a number for 120. You turn to the page that you're looking for. So this is the 100s page. And you find 120. Is that the number I said we were looking for? And then the guide will help you write it. 120 equals 120. And if you were looking for help in the 200s, you would turn to the 200s page. Now this guide is fantastic, but you can learn to write those numbers without the guide. And so that's what we're going to do today. I want to tell you about a common problem. Common means happens a lot. In fact, I remember in my classroom, one of the first few days of first grade, I asked somebody how they would write the number 110. And this is what they told me. I said, how do you write 110? And this is what they showed me. I don't remember what student it was. It looks like it's right. 110. It has a 1 and it has a 10 in it. But did you know that there's too many numbers there? That when you write in the 100s, you're only using 3 digits and there's 4 digits here. There's a 1 and a 0 and a 1 and a 0. So that's the wrong way. To write 110, you use 3 digits. Is this the right way? Yes. 110. One group of 100 and 10 ones, or one group of 10. Okay, so you can say it like this to get all the way to 1,000. So you say this with me. Say, 10 ones make 10. 10 fingers, 10 of these make 10. 10 tens make 100. Now, you might not have seen one of these yet, but this is called a hundreds flat. These are 10 towers, and these are hundreds flats, and these are ones. All right, now let's talk about how to get to 1,000. Can you say this after me? 10 hundreds make 1,000. Yep, we're going to learn how to do that today. Okay, so let's look at the board. How many ones make 110? Let's review. We know it takes 10 of these, and in my class I would call them singles or leftovers or even ones. It takes 10 of those to make a 10 tower, a base 10 rod. Let's call it a 10 tower, okay? And usually in class, I would show it like this. Does it look more familiar this way? If you looked closely, there's 10 individual ones. So 10 singles, 10 ones make 10. How many tens make 100? Now I underline that word because that's a new number word for you. That's the word 100. That's how to write 100, and that's how to spell it. So let's look at the question again. How many tens make 100? How many groups of tens do I need to make 100? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tens. Now, let's skip count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. You're gonna see these on my next page. Look really closely. So the person that created these basically took 10 towers and glued them all together. If you wanted to, you could take time to count each one, but counting by ones takes a long time when you're using a number like 100, because that's a lot of ones. So skip counting is a faster way to get us where we want to go. Okay, now we're going to use these hundreds this 100 flat is what I call it, to get to 1,000. And let me show you how to write 1,000. Instead of using 3 numbers like we use to write 110, we're going to use 4 numbers. And I'm going to tell you what those numbers mean. Now I wrote 100 on top because I wanted you to see, again, I'm using 3 digits to write 100. One group of 100, okay? Now I'm writing 1,000. So I needed 4 numbers to write 1,000. And that little comma shows me that I'm using a different place value. We'll talk about place value again in a minute. Okay, let's go on to my next board, which is going to teach us how many hundreds are in 1,000. Now remember, I said I didn't have enough of these to get there, so I drew some with 10, and I've labeled them for us to make it even easier. Okay, let's start at the top. How many hundreds make 1,000? There's your number word hundreds, and there's your number word thousands. And I wrote it over here again so you could recognize it. How many hundreds make 1,000? Well, it takes 10 of these 100 flats to get to 1,000, and I've labeled them. Now let's just make sure there's 10, and then we'll count by hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there was 10 groups of 100 to get me to 1,000. Remember, 10 is our friendly number. We've used 10 ones to get to 10, 10 tens to get to 100, and now we're going to use 10 100s to get to 1,000. Let's count by hundreds now. Okay, we're going to skip count. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. We got there. Okay. The next thing I want to talk to you about is place value. To understand place value is to help you understand how to write numbers that have more than 1 digit. Okay, so let's look at place value. Now also, I want to remind you what a digit is. A digit is one single number. Actually, let's start on this side. So 1 is a digit and 8 is a digit. I wouldn't say 18 is a digit. That's 2 numbers together. And they each have a place and they each have a value. So when I say a digit, I'm talking about one single number, not a 2-digit number. Remember, these are 2-digit numbers. I just explained myself. Okay, so look what I did with these numbers. Are they the same number? No. One is 18, you know that, and the next one is 81. Place value means the number's in the right place. So let's say I wanted to write 18, but I put the 8 first because I like making 8s. 8s are fun, they're like snowmen. Well, I don't have 18 anymore, I have 81 because the numbers are not in the right place. Place value helps you understand numbers and how to write the number correctly. Okay, now let's look at the other side. This is a little bit of review. Excuse me while I sneeze. Okay, place value. When I have place values in the tens, it takes 2 numbers to write that number. It takes 2 digits. Over here, I write 1, and over here I write 5 to show you the difference. Now, the number I'm writing is 15, but I wanted to show you the place value. 1 group of 10 and 5 ones equals 15. Okay? 3 groups of 10 and 7 ones equals 37. Look at that. There's a mistake on the board. I must have forgotten what I was doing when I created this. Blooper, but I'm not going to start over. In fact, maybe you already saw my mistake. 9 groups of 10 and 9 ones equals what number? 99. Mrs. Coppola was probably getting excited about the 100s. And so I jumped ahead of myself, my own lesson. Okay, thanks first grade. Place value to the tens is 2 digits, 2 numbers together. Place value to the hundreds takes 3 numbers. And remember, I showed you that on our example. Okay, now I need to turn the page. And I have some math supplies on here. So hold on while I flip my chart. Okay, Clyde fell down. That's okay. We'll keep going. Thanks, first grade, for being patient. Okay. Now we have place value to the hundreds. And I have my place value chart. How many numbers, how many digits does it take to write a number in the hundreds? It takes 3. Let's compare it to our other chart. To write numbers in the tens, you need 2 digits. You need 2 places. To write number in the hundreds, you need 3 places. Now let me show you what I did for example. Over here on the left is where I put my highest number, the number in the hundreds, my highest place value. In the middle is my tens. And to the right is my ones. Okay, we read numbers left to right, just like we read words left to right. Okay, so let's look at what the first number is. 125. So 1 group of 100, 2 groups of 10, and 5 ones. Do you remember what we call that? We call that the expanded form. Let's read the digits now. 125. Okay, next one. 2 groups of 100, 7 groups of 10, and 1 1. And the number is 271. It took 3 digits to write a number in the 100s. In the hundreds, excuse me. Okay, let's go to the next one. 3 groups of 10, 3 groups of 100, 4 groups of 10, and 9 ones. What's that number? I didn't write it. Can you say it? 3, 4, 9, 349. And I would write it like this. 3, 4, 9. 349. That's how I read it. I don't read it 349. Okay, let's look at the next one. 8 groups of 100 and 8 groups of 10 and 8 ones. What's that number? 888. That's not how I would say it. I would say 888. And how would I write that? I bring all the numbers together. So instead of separating them by place value, I just pull them together. Okay, can you read the next one? 5 groups of 100, 3 groups of 10, and 6 ones. 536. Now the last one's fun because it's the highest number you can get when you're in the hundreds. Did you read it? 999. 999, which equals 999. What comes after 999? Well, then you've gotten to 1,000, which is a 4-digit number. So the very last number in your hundreds book, the very last page will be 1,000. All right? Now, your hands are going to get a little tired because there's a lot of pages. In fact, how many pages are there? There's 10. 10 pages, and they each have a different number in the hundreds. Remember? 10 tens make 100. Anyway, your hands will get tired, but you can do it. All right, friends. Thanks for joining me today, and sorry for my bloopers, but it's okay to laugh with me. All right, bye.